Welcome, everyone. What a great audience we have at Berkeley Bicycle Club. Why don't you give yourself a big round of applause? Yeah. Nice. And everyone at home, hello, and wish you were here with us, but since you're not, please sit back, enjoy, relax, and we have a fantastic episode for you coming up. And it's going to be fantastic because we have Cat Grant with the very talented Sandra Bouza, and we've got Boyd Kodak with the very artistic Chica de Diva, and we've got my main guest is going to be a super dazzling drag artist. Yes, I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it again. I do love the art of drag. No, I have never done drag. I think it takes a lot of courage to do drag and a lot of tucking. And yes, I do appreciate a great talent when I see one, and I think over my many years in media, without saying how many years, I think I developed an eye for spotting a good talent. And lately, drag has found itself becoming more mainstream and like it's never been before, with shows like RuPaul Drag Race, introducing one drag celebrity after another. The art itself is being open to a whole new audience to appreciate it. Scarlett Bobo, my guest, is one of those drag queens who are pushing the envelope and stepping it up. She is the nightmarish brainchild of Matty Cameron, a fusion of Hollywood golden era icons and pop vixens of the 21st century. Bobo has wowed Toronto audiences with her fancy footwork, flawless face, and fiery circus talents. She is well-rounded in the art of aerial silks, fire swallowing, and many other circus acts. Recently, Scarlett has been named on the top 10 list of drag performers to watch for by Out TV. Please help me welcome the wonderful and fantastic Scarlett Bobo, everyone.
Yay! Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So, how did you feel to be selected to be on that list? Do you know the criteria and why Scarlett deserved to be on that list?
I thought it was really cool. There was a lot of queens that were super incredible. Tanya Banks is on that from Toronto. There's a bunch of really amazing Vancouver queens. There was no criteria. I kind of just woke up and my friend was like, "Oh, you're on this list from OTV," and I was like, "Oh my god, that's huge!" Like OTV,
that is awesome.
Yeah, you know they still Drag Race.
I circulated around the whole team of the magazine.
Oh yeah,
we got drag queens in Toronto on that list.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was really honored to be a part of it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
and Canadian queens are doing some really great stuff lately.
Yeah, I feel like lately Canadian queens are finally on the map in the world of drag.
We have a queen going to be
appearing on Brooklyn Heights.
Yes,
she's going to be on Drag Race.
Well, mainstreaming drag that I mentioned in the open, do you think it has hurt or benefited the scene, the drag scene?
I think a little bit of both. Honestly, I think it's really helped the drag scene because it's been so much easier to just come out and drag. Drag is more accessible to younger people.
It is, yeah.
Like there's people that I've known that are 19 now that they're like, I've started watching Drag Race since I was 10 years old.
Okay.
I mean, so it's more accessible to people, but also for like older artists, like I've been doing drag for 11 years, it's like we kind of have to like, it's the scene's changed a lot. Like what you used to know is completely different now. What we used to do is different. So, we have to adapt. It's improving and improving. I think we just have to adapt to it. As with anything
that's taking steps to grow.
It's like social media. We have to adapt to stuff.
RuPaul Drag Race. What do you remember of the last 11 seasons? Any special moments that you remember? Any queens that are your favorites?
Drag's always been really amazing. Like Drag Race has always been amazing. Favorite queens? I don't know. I like a lot of them. Yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite.
That's a very nice.
Yeah, answer. I guess in this season I want Latrice to win.
There we go. All right.
She's my favorite in this season.
And with that, we're going to take a little break, and we will be right back with the wonderful Scarlett Bobo. All right, little break, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Cat Grant here. Today I'm with vocalist and songwriter extraordinaire, Sandra Boza. Thanks for coming, Sandra.
Thanks for having me.
So you told me your first gig, professional gig, was at 9 years old. Tell everyone how that happened.
We were performing for family at a banquet hall, and the owner of the banquet hall liked us and offered us a gig. And he offered us, or my mother, $100 to perform, and I thought I was rich at the time.
Very rich. Rich for 9. You said you performed a lot in your youth, and in your 20s, you kind of came into your own and found your path. How did that happen?
I went to Scotland and I started doing museum studies, doing a master's in museum studies at St. Andrews, and I started playing in more bands, and then I realized it was something I'd always done, but I realized that I wanted to do that full time. I realized there was nothing else that made me as happy as that, so I moved back to Canada and I started on that long journey of being a musician.
And you have traveled, you've become a world traveler all over the place. What are your favorite places on the planet?
I have a lot of them. I spent a lot of time in Morocco. I love Morocco for its I lived on a beach. I mean, I love the peacefulness and the zen and the culture, beautiful, colorful culture. I love London, England, for especially Camden Town, for its diversity and its energy. New Orleans is another one of my favorite places for its history and the music. So much music. It was just music on every corner. It was so cool. There were just horn sections everywhere you turned. It was amazing. Toronto, of course.
You're home now.
My home.
Also, I asked you about your personal inspiration in your life, and you told me it was your grandfather. Why?
My grandfather was just the nicest human to ever walk the earth. He was an amazing man. He could recite poetry he learned in the 30s and 40s. He was also just a kind person. He was nice to everyone. Didn't matter what color, what race, what gender. It didn't matter. He loved you if you were a nice person and you were nice to his family. He was just, when he died, we had people who worked in the corner store and the pharmacy that were crying because he was just an amazing man. And if I could be even half as kind and loving as him, I'd be grateful.
Well, you are, so we're grateful. When we talked about inspiration professionally, and we talked about what kind of music you like, you told me all of it. Why?
It's really hard for me to nail down a genre. I'm a Gemini. I love everything. I think music in general is my inspiration just because it comes from people, and humans are so interesting and diverse, and I think it's just, we have a magic inside of us that we can take an experience that we've had and write a song about it and, create such an atmosphere and a texture that's so unique to every individual, and yet 1 million people across the world will relate that to an experience or an emotion that they had. I think that's incredible. And I think it's sad that more humans don't connect to that spirituality or that conduit that we have to other worlds, but I think we all have it inside of us.
Like you said, magic.
We are magic.
So, you had an album come out. Tell us the name and what's on it.
It's called 3 Years. It's an EP, so it's short. It's just 3 songs, and it's sort of just a cross section, say, of the last few years of my life. Just different experiences and some journeys a journey that I've been on through, Toronto, getting healthier spiritually, mentally, and moving back to Toronto. Sort of a collection of that.
And you wrote the songs on this album?
Yes.
Which is great. Where can everyone find out more about you?
I have a website called sandraboza.com. You can go to Spotify, Instagram, social media. All the social media is
And
Boza.
look in your local listings because Sandra plays around town.
Yes.
And it's always fantastic, whether it's the quiet just with the guitar or when you're with the band. Or whether you cover other artists like Jagged Little Pill, which that was an amazing concert.
There's another one coming up.
Oh, find out more about that.
April 6th.
Thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Check her out.
And we're back with Scarlett Bobo, everyone. Yeah. So how did Scarlett get her start? I hear you were born on the Ottawa Pride stages.
Yeah,
I hope it wasn't a messy birth.
Pretty messy.
Where did you perform there? You were in a pageant. Tell us a little bit about Ottawa.
Yeah, so I was in Ottawa. I started in Ottawa. 11
were
years
born
ago.
there?
Yeah, I was born in Ottawa, and then my drag career started in Ottawa. I always did a Ottawa Capital Pride pageant.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. My first show in Ottawa was at Helsinki Lounge. So this is forever ago. That's now long gone.
It's gone, isn't it? Yeah.
But it was a rough start. It was very rough. Yeah, it was,
Really?
Yeah, it was
Okay. But
it was hard.
Look at you.
Yeah, look at me
developed
now.
Yeah. What's the story behind the name? Where did the name come from?
The name comes from Jeanette Bobo. Hi, Mom. And Sandra Bobo. Hi, Mom. Those are Jeanette Bobo started...
That's your drag mother?
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
I was going to
Sandra
ask you.
Bobo is my drag mother, and Jeanette Bobo started the Bobo family,
Okay. Is that
forever
an
ago.
Ottawa family?
Yeah, so it's an Ottawa family, so they started it, and then we were kind of just, trying to pick up names, and then they said Scarlett, and I said, I don't know, and then all of a sudden they put me on stage, and they were like, Scarlet Bobo, and I said, okay, cool.
Well, I
that's
like it. I like it. It's a very cool name.
Yeah, thank you.
And you are a very unique artist. From what I said in my open. What would one expect when you go to a Scarlet Bobo show?
Oh, I don't know. Expect the unexpected. You never know what you're going to get. You never know if I'm going to be, if I'm drinking too much, if I'm not drinking, if I'm going to start crying on stage or making you laugh. I don't know. You never know
But
what you're going to
I'm interested in like the fire, all that sort
Yeah,
of
so
stuff.
my bigger shows usually tend to have like fire swallowing acts.
You do?
Yeah, I do aerial
Wow.
silks. I do a lot of impersonations. I'm starting more impersonations
Oh, do you?
now.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been doing Cher. I'm going to be doing Liza and Madonna. So.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so now we get to, you arrived in Toronto.
Yes.
First, what made you make the move to Toronto?
My mom's in the audience.
Oh, yes.
She moved first, and I'm a huge mama's boy, so I was like, okay, I'm coming.
Coming here.
Yeah.
And you got very involved in the scene right away. You entered a bunch of pageants as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about history in Toronto. Who gave you the first start in Toronto? Maybe? What bar?
Candace did, actually. She
Queen
had Candace's, yeah, she had Candace's Star Search. At
No
Cruise
longer
and
with
Tango.
us. God bless her soul.
And so she had Candace's Star Search at Cruise. And I used to go every single week, just like hoping she would put me on stage, just like waiting.
Okay.
And then I did Drag Race at Cruise, Miss Cruise. I won Miss Cruise.
You won Miss Cruise?
Yeah, I won Queen of Halloween.
Oh, cool.
So I had to just kind of like get my name out there, and then I started my own events, and that's kind of what really set me up on the map.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what are you doing now on a regular basis?
I
Who's
do
your
my
regular
own
gig?
shows. I got shows at O'Grady's, The Drink, Garage, kind of all over. Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's actually almost all the bars that are in the scene.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the drag scene. Good, bad, what can we do as a community to make it better? What can we say to queens who want to start in the industry? I know this is dear to your heart and starting queens.
I think the drag scene is really awesome. I think we have a very strong sisterhood. We have a very strong bond. Like whenever I have something wrong with me, I always know that I can go and lean on my
You do?
sisters.
In Toronto?
Yeah.
We have
Oh
a
yeah.
tight-knit
Like
community?
I've got so many people that if I'm like just having a breakdown, like I know I can call someone up and they'll come over
awesome.
or come to my show and whatnot.
That's encouraging to somebody.
Yeah, I think as a community, I think what we can do is just teach the younger generation on just how to act in our history. I remember the first time I went to go on stage, I got off stage and Vicky Lawsuit, who's no longer with us, said, "You're not getting back on stage until you come back and tell us all about your history and all about why you're doing drag." And I was like, "Who's this old kook?" And then so I came back and it made me realize that we're more than just like, you know, wigs and lashes and whatever. Like, know about your history.
It is a family.
Yeah.
And we have to stay tight.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we're going to take another break. We're going to check in with Boyd Kodak, and we will be back with Scarlett.
Yay.
So, yeah, don't go anywhere, okay?
Hi, Boyd Kodak here. This episode I have the pleasure of speaking with Xica DaDiva. Xica is a multi-performance artist, singer, anti-bullying, trans advocate. Welcome, Xica.
Thank you, Boyd. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Tell us a bit about how you started, and you have such a broad spectrum of talents. Give us some highlights of what you've been doing this year.
Oh my God, so much has been happening.
Let's start with how you started.
Well, to be honest with you, around a couple of years ago, maybe I had some major transphobic problems at my job. I work in public transportation and customer service, and I had some really intense issues with some coworkers. So I'm taking a break from that, and then decided, trans issues really worried me right now. And back then, when I was going through so much, so I decided to get involved in the community and started volunteering and all this stuff. But then I've always been in the artistic side. When I was a kid, I was always doing something and contests on TV shows and all kinds of stuff. So I decided to bring that back, and I started doing community performing, and one thing led to the next one, and it's just been such an amazing journey to be able to apply my talents and give something back, take something back. And for the last little while, I have been doing major events, Pride Toronto. I was asked to be the Grand Marshal for North Bay Pride last year, right
Nice.
after I wasn't even recovered from Toronto Pride.
And back to another
and I
one.
had to get back into it, and that was an incredible journey. I had never heard a trans person say that they felt safe in their own city.
Nice.
So North Bay, I'm coming back this year.
Right
You
on
better
North
call me
Bay.
back.
Shout out to North Bay. And so,
yeah.
and your movie, tell us about.
Well, yes. Now I was also working on a short film about my story with my trans Latino group, and we just did a sort of like an artistic creation. But then we started sending it out to film festivals.
And it's now playing the circuit?
Yeah, and now it's going in the circuit. The
Excellent.
first one was the International Latin Film Festival. Took my short film. It's called Ubuntu.
Which means?
Which means I am because we are. It's an African philosophy of unity.
Excellent.
So I decided to call that Ubuntu because Toronto has given me so much. I have been traveling around the country since I moved to Canada 18 years ago, and been in Vancouver, Montreal. This is my third time in Toronto, and I think I finally found
Home?
a home.
Good, good.
So,
okay, your other involvements? I know
yeah,
this
so-
year you've had a few.
Yes, I also went to New York to film a transgender romantic comedy short film, Starting Back Angel.
Oh, that's cool. This is coming up, is
This
it?
is coming up. This
Yes.
is going to be coming up this year. My producer is just sending it out right now.
Congratulations, great for you.
So it's going to be an amazing project. It's about trans issues and what happens. It's called What If, because what happens when you fall in love with somebody who is not who you think they were. Very.
Very, very interesting, really cool. And we also have Champs.
The Champs in Action Project intervention is a community-led program to fight stigma and discrimination on HIV issues, trans issues, homophobia, ageism, all kinds. It gives you the tools to be able to do that. So that project is coming around the city and growing.
And Trans Spa.
The Trans Spa is a program that I co-facilitate and plan once a month at the Women's Health and Women's Hands for trans folks who want to empower themselves, getting new skills for socioeconomic inclusion.
Okay.
Very
And
happy to be part of this.
That sounds perfect. I'd like to come to a day. Well, I'm a
Coming
trans
up-
woman, but can trans men come too?
Of course,
Okay.
of course, trans people.
Okay, and tell us about your community involvements, that we can also look out for some things coming up. You're doing
Yes,
a cover?
coming up March, at the 519, I will be giving a moving and healing dance workshops every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m.
Perfect.
And it's free. So anybody who's interested
right on.
in healing their body through movement are more than welcome to come to my workshops
Okay.
every Friday of March at 7 p.m.
Okay, and the cover you're doing?
And the cover of Play Magazine is also coming up. And
That'll be the spring issue,
that will
is it?
be coming up in the spring, and that has
Perfect.
to do with the Inspire Awards coming up in
And-
May, which I'm the co-chair of events.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. Great having you.
Thank you
and
so much.
congratulations with everything and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we are back, everyone. Welcome back. Hey. Hi. Let's talk family and growing up. I know your folks are in the audience. Hey. Yes, I love it when I see supporting folks in our audience. What size family? What kind of kid were you growing up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
I had a brother and sister growing up, and my mom and stepdad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Were you like the a clown in this class?
I
were you the
was,
quiet one?
They couldn't keep me off the desk. I was like bouncing on tables, bouncing on
Were you
everywhere.
performing when you were a kid?
Yeah, I think so. Like looking at
Were you
my
putting
mom
on shows at home and stuff?
Yeah, I remember I once had a talent show in like grade 6, and I was doing an in-sync performance, and I kicked my brother out of the group because he didn't know the choreo.
I used to make all my siblings perform. Big shows
Perform for me.
Mom. Yes. I hear you regularly travel to European cities, such as London, Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam. And you've been to some famous international bars and clubs like Taboo Bar, Soho, Church Bar, Amstel 54, and Queen's Head?
Yeah.
That's not in London, is it?
No, that's in Amsterdam. It's actually the oldest.
I
still
thought
run-
Queen's Head sounds like English.
Yeah.
But
No, it's the oldest running gay bar that's still like working in.
Which one did you perform in those?
All of them.
All of them?
All of
you
them.
performed in all of them?
Yes.
What difference have you found between North American audience and European audience?
The thing I like about the European audience is everyone's still queer. There's no like mask for mask. There's no femme. There's no like.
Oh, really?
Everyone's kind of all together. Everyone's
Wow.
doing their own thing. Everyone's just queer, and they actually call you drag artists, which I like that you call.
Yeah, I actually read
did
you
call me
saying that.
that. I
Yeah,
love that.
it is. You know what? It's an art.
Yeah, the first time someone called me a drag artist there, I said, "What did you call me?"
Easy. I know drag queen is the common word that we
Yeah.
use, but it's an art. It's an
But
artist.
they,
You're a performer.
and they love it. Like they're so engaged. Like no one's on their phones. Like they're like
Okay.
they're paying attention to the show.
So it's more popular there than here.
Yeah, it's very popular
is
over
it?
there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And recently, on a trip with some friends to Europe, you had something big and fabulous and huge happen. What happened?
I got engaged.
You got engaged.
Yay.
You got engaged in Europe? I am so jealous.
I know how,
Where
how
was it?
extra is that?
I don't know the whole story. Where? Which country?
It was in Amsterdam.
yeah.
The first time me and my fiance went to Amsterdam was it's still weird saying fiance.
Okay.
The first time we went there was in last Christmas, and so we found this church that we had this like really emotional moment at and everything. So I surprised them the day we got there. We met up with our friends Monty and Joey, and Monty's brother, and yeah.
Hi, Monty and Joey.
Hi.
Okay.
And so we tricked him. We said we're going out to dinner, and it was raining, which I was annoyed about, but it was romantic. And yeah, I got down on one knee and popped the question.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is kind of the formal portion of our interview.
Cool.
Now we're going to do some quick questions.
Great.
You're going to just answer me with the first thing that comes to mind.
Awesome.
Favorite Eurocity?
Amsterdam.
Because
Well, there's so much, yeah.
Favorite season to travel?
Spring or fall.
Okay, I like both. Favorite cuisine from a city you actually visited?
Pasta in Rome.
Okay. Favorite drag-themed movie?
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
My favorite. Do you have a favorite song to get ready to?
Anything by Pink.
We love Pink. You got a bunch of friends sitting around bored, wanting to do something. What would be the first thing you would suggest to do?
Have a cocktail and play video games.
Oh, really? You're a
Yeah.
video game player?
Oh, I love video games.
And what would your most romantic date look like?
The one that Pete took me on for our first Valentine's Day. We had a super romantic dinner, and then we went to go see My Bloody Valentine at the Royal Cinema.
Actually, I haven't seen that movie.
Dinner
but
and a horror movie.
Yeah. I just got it, and I want to see the second part.
Yeah.
Last words to our LGBTQ community.
Thank you so much for supporting me for all these years. You guys are the only reason why I'm still doing this and making me happy and, encouraging me to keep doing better. So thank you and kill it.
And last words to our audience.
Thank you guys for being here and
We
thank
love
you for
you.
watching me. I love you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. All right. And that's it, folks. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. You can be here in the audience, enjoy a really fantastic night, have some pizza. Just write us on Facebook at facebook.com/join us on the couch. It's free tickets. You can ask for them. and it's all about love. So love yourself. You are beautiful, you are unique. Love everyone around you. Love comes back to you. And thank you from On the Couch. Goodbye. Cheers. Bye, everyone. Thank you.